on the edge of the desert when the drugs begin to take hold.
You're either in or you're out. Right now.
I want to gamble.
I never want to hear those words out of your mouth again.
Gambling is not your problem.
Has anybody ever told you before your bad luck?
Most gamblers, when they go to gamble, they go to win.
Those were my mother's dying words.
When we go to gamble, we go to lose. Show me the money.
Let's get out of here, man.
Show you the money.
Honestly, let's just go. Let's go to Vegas.
Jerry, I want you to say what you would mean it, brother. Show me the money.
Hello. Week 14 in totality is here. I think we're going to see some teams get eliminated, mathematically or not. I think we're going to start to see some races really shape up. We have 5 games within a field goal. There should be some good football on today. But before we get into that, Marcus and I have to talk about something. The sports memery had a chance to go watch the Steelers play in Minnesota. Our fearless leader, Drew Forbes, is a season ticket holder. Wonderful seats. And though it didn't turn out the way we would have liked, we got to see the Cowboy put on possibly his last show.
In person. Last one in person. So we just want to take this moment to say thank you, Seven, for everything, man. It was so emotional. Just watching the comeback, watching the effort. It's just exciting to see. I've been fortunate enough to see him 20 times in over a dozen different stadiums, road games every year. And me and Brandon are on our second year in a row now. We're going to keep that going. But man, it was magical. It's the last time we're going to see him in person. So I just wanted to say thank you to Seven before we got into this week.
Yeah, I know his stats don't really booster kind of where he is anymore, but I did find something that I wanted to talk about. He currently has the number 1 passing rating in the entire league in the fourth quarter. He has the second most yards and tied for the most fourth quarter touchdowns. The guy knows how to play when the going gets tough. I don't want to hear about he only had, 27 yards in the first half. Steelers had 63 total yards. He did everything he could, despite some of his own players working against him. Ben, appreciate everything you do. Everything you have done.
This is just proof that if you dig hard enough, you can find a meaningful stat that make anybody look good, because he's fucking trash this year.
Thank you, Seven. Now on to our picks for this week.
Speaking of trash this year.
Yeah, it's been a rough go, right? Back-to-back 1 in 4 weeks. That's not what you want. It's tough sledding, but it's time for a bounce back, right?
Can you pull that back up real quick? Can you pull that up real quick? So, guys, I want to point this out that this is against the spread. This is not straight up. I know we might have a few new watchers this week. I see it here in our watch counter. We got a few new watchers this week. This is against the spread. This is not straight up. We pick the toughest games every week. And more often than not, if you're close to around 500, you're doing okay because you're winning on a lot of the easier games. We're picking the toughest ones, and we're all still relatively competitive. Marcus is a few weeks away from getting right back in it. So, and we can only do that by talking to these games. And speaking of the AFC North, we have a battle going on in Cleveland. Baltimore heads there as a 2.5-point favorite. They're first in the division. They're the better team, but somehow they're a road favorite.
Doggy.
All of us, except Marcus, are on Baltimore. Marcus, tell us why you are taking the home favorite here.
So we're actually getting to see something unique here in this game. Cleveland lost to Baltimore 2 weeks ago, had a bye week. They're getting Baltimore again. Baltimore's coming off of that loss against Pittsburgh. It hasn't happened before. There's been some similar close scheduling conflicts. Biggest problem that Cleveland runs into, other than being inconsistent like the rest of the NFL, 17 total touches between Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. That's never going to get it done. It's going to be an interesting matchup, but with Marlon Humphrey now being gone too, I'm expecting to see a lot of 3 receiver, 2 running back sets. It's the only way that you can kind of keep them off balanced and still get all of your best players on the field. Donovan People-Jones could be a nice flyer for anyone in DFS today. But I'm going to just talk Kareem Hunt real quick. Other than this last game, he's done very well against Baltimore. I'm expecting 2 touchdowns out of him. Good odds there. I do like him first touchdown. Look for him to feast. Should be an ugly AFC North game.
Absolutely. Speaking of ugly AFC North game, 8 of the Ravens' last 9 road games have gone under. Right? Over-under stats for Cleveland are heavily follow the under. I think Marcus is all over this being an ugly game, but here's why I think the Ravens cover, because the Browns have failed to cover the spread in 10 of their last 12 AFC North games, whether they're favorites or underdogs. And I think you're looking at the worst team in the AFC North in the Cleveland Browns. I really, really do. I think Baltimore covers this easily. I think this is maybe a 6-7 point game. I think it maybe doubles the spread. I think Vegas is off here because I can't even really tell you why. Marcus gave us some players to look out for. DNP might be a streaming guy. Derek, who else are you looking at in this game?
So I do like Peoples-Jones. I really like Lamar. I think maybe that's the quarterback. There's not a lot of difference this year in the top quarterbacks, mid-tier quarterbacks when you talk about daily fantasy. So Lamar might be a good candidate to just kind of ride because I think they're going to really put it on his shoulders to go win this one. They didn't play great the last time these 2 teams played. Obviously, it was a pretty close game, but when you get in these situations, I always like to put the kind of the onus on the coaching, and obviously Harbaugh's way better.
No question in the world.
Not even close. So give me Andrews. I like Andrews today. I don't like any of the outside receivers. Maybe Bateman, if you have him in an annual fantasy, obviously you probably play him here as a flex. But as far as daily, if you feel really good about the Cleveland winning this game for whatever reason, maybe pick one of the running backs and hope you get the guy who goes in the end zone. But that's all I really have for that one.
Yeah, Lamar has recorded 103 or more rushing yards in each of the last 2 games against the Browns. Lamar, just how the Steelers kind of own Lamar, Lamar owns the Browns. I think that's a great call, Derek, in rolling with Lamar. There's a little player parlay prop that, again, I stole from you now for the past couple of weeks. I like Lamar and Chubb to get over 150 rush yards. I think that's one of my slam dunk picks. I think Chubb probably gets in the 70 to 80 range, and I just wrote off the stat about Lamar. So I think they clear this by about 20 or 30 yards today. Pretty easy. And then speaking about owning the Browns, that's Mark Andrews. He's scored 4 in his last 5 against Cleveland, and you can get this at plus 200, guys. That's 3-1 odds. Andrews anytime touchdown, anytime in regulation or overtime. So love Lamar, love Andrews. I'm actually, again, I have to choose between Freeman or Hollywood Brown to start. I'm actually going with Hollywood Brown. His stats are pretty good. I know Derek just said that he's staying away from outside receivers, but receivers have actually had quite a bit of success against Cleveland this year. All right, let's move to another divisional game, a tough one here. I forget, Derek, Marcus, did you guys pick Dallas to win the NFC East?
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I did not. No, I tried. I try to stay away from Dallas a lot this preseason because I thought there was a lot of foregone conclusions. I thought Dallas was definitely the best team. I thought Micah Parsons was obviously Rookie of the Year favorite. So I went with some dark horses to keep it interesting.
Gotcha. Well, I didn't mean to set you up. I genuinely thought you did because I wanted to pat myself on the back because I had the football team and it didn't look good for me when they were 2-6. They've won 4 in a row. Now, this game is huge, guys. This is a very, very big game for Week 14. If Washington can steal this, then the race gets super interesting. And it looks like I'm the only one on the football team. So, Marcus, why is this game going to be blowout city?
If Washington could steal this game. Yeah, they're right back in contention. Obviously, they're flirting with the playoffs. But if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. They're just, dude, Dallas is just a way better team. And between Dallas, Washington, and Philly, everyone's just finishing out this final stretch against each other. So the whole division is really coming down to this last month. Good for Washington. 4 in a row? They keep finding ways to win. They just won't today. Dak Prescott hasn't had a 3-touchdown performance since October in that overtime thriller in New England. I'm expecting that today. And obviously the late moves from this morning. Dallas is actually at 6.5 now. Montez Sweat just tested positive for COVID. Actually, Derek was just texting switch, and I granted it to him, even though I got permitted on some of mine earlier this year. But Cowboys roll. Really like the Cowboys today for a complete game, because it's been Atlanta, which doesn't really count. That was their last complete performance. So that's what I'm expecting today.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was on the football team until about an hour ago. I woke up and saw that Sweat was out with COVID tests. So they're down now 3. Their top 3 defensive ends in the preseason depth chart,
And Chase Young too.
I just don't. I just don't think they get a push. I don't think they do much up front. Still, it's the NFC East. Like, anything can happen. The Colts love to shit the bed. Washington could still absolutely win this game, but I got to protect that record. I'm 35-30, and I gotta keep it trending up. So for me, like DFS, play a Cowboys receiver. I think Cowboys receiver is the way to go. I don't know which one. Play anyone. I think they're all going to eat.
Mari Cooper certainly owns the football team. He's at over 55 yards, 4 in the last 5. So that he'd be the one that I would lean. But I mean, you're kind of in a Brown situation, right? Like, you want to take one of them. You just got to guess right.
You just hope you guess the right one. Yeah. And
Exactly.
for Washington, Heineke's kind of a sleeper. Could be a fun pick if you get decent value. I'm all over Gibson today. I think he's going to eat. I think it's going to be a big day for him. And that's kind of it for Washington. Scary Terry's had kind of a down year. Maybe this is when he bounces back. I mean, the one thing that we know about the Cowboys secondary and Diggs, everybody talks about Diggs and these interceptions. He's also giving up the most yardage by like 100, and I think it's 163 between him and second place. So you can throw against Dallas, you can throw against Diggs, as long as you put the ball in the right spot.
Yeah, here's one of these stats.
He's the perfect example, though. 9 picks, 9 touchdowns of over 50 yards. He's the perfect example of the NFL this season.
So here's a one of these meaningless stats Derek likes to call me out on. On when he doesn't get an interception, which it's hard to eliminate that, but when he doesn't get an interception, his quarterback rating is 131. Like it's either an interception or touchdown. Like he's either making a big play for himself or getting torched. Like it's a really weird dynamic for Diggs right now.
Yeah, so I like the idea of McLaurin. Maybe this is a good time for him to break out, but I'm not gonna bet on that.
Yeah. So again, being the lone wolf here, some stats that don't help my cause. Washington has lost each of its last 7 December games against NFC opponents. Not great. And then the Cowboys have covered the spread in their last 7 games against NFC opponents. Not great. So a quick thing, too. Again, we kind of talked about these guys already. 2 props I really like. Dak and Gibson over 360 total yards. I think that's another slam dunk one. I think Dak probably gets to 275, 280, and that means Gibson only needs about 80 all-purpose. Slam dunk.
Yep.
Absolutely slam dunk there. And then I've already mentioned the Cooper over yardage. Let's go to a cross-conference game that actually has big implications, more one than the other. Buffalo at Tampa. Tampa being a 3.5-point favorite, over under 52.5. Buffalo needs us to kind of right the ship. I mean, I don't want to say Buffalo's sinking yet, but I mean, it's not looking good. The boat's filling up, and Tampa Bay needs to keep up, right? Like this top of the NFC is really starting to separate itself. So this is a big game. We're all on Tampa Bay, but we got one lone wolf again, and this time it's Marcus. And JC must have switched his pick. My bad. I missed that. But all right, Marcus, tell us why the Buffalo Bills are going to circle the wagons.
It's kind of pretty easy here. I actually like Buffalo to win this game outright, but I love 3.5. Any of these tight games, give me the hook all day long. Under is the play to go. Last week, Brady threw 50 some odd times. Buffalo's the best against the pass. Obviously, they gave up. New England ran the ball 46 times, but just look for Tampa to be a little bit more balanced as a whole. Brady won't be throwing it 50 times. It's just going to be a fun, physical game. Bills Mafia is probably already shotgunning beers right now, jamming each other through tables. Low-scoring game. Just take the under. I like the Bills at plus 3.5. I like them outright. Should be a fun, physical matchup in a big bounce-back win. And like I said last week, even though they didn't beat New England, it was just an excellent performance by Josh Allen, and I'm expecting more of the same.
So, Derek, I know you're probably pulling for Tampa Bay to put the nail in Buffalo. What are your thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look back and we got a lot of the stats on an isolated Monday night game with the Bills and the Patriots, where the Patriots have won 16 of the last 18 in Buffalo. A lot of that's Tom Brady's doing. Tom owns the. I think that they cover here, a touchdown or 3.5 is always scary, just because that field goal win, you're on the wrong side of things. But I think they get it done. I think Tampa gets it done and covers at home. I'm with you. I think this over under, I saw 52. And I was like, holy shit! Like that's a big number. As far as individual players that get done, you got to think Dawson Knox is going to be involved if they're going to be successful today. Diggs needs a big kind of bounce back game. He was obviously the whole passing game was a non-factor last week, so I think a lot of those guys are going to be wanting to get in the mix. And for Tampa, the wide receivers, it's another one of those situations where hope you pick the right guy. You don't know who it's going to be. It could be Godwin. Godwin puts up like an AB type numbers last week. It could be Evans. It could be a tight end. It could be, you don't know who it's going to be. The one guy I think you can trust is Fournette. Like, he's getting force-fed receptions right now. If you're in a PPR format, like, Fournette's the guy.
For sure. And again, Marcus already hit on that the Bills are already so good against the pass. They are susceptible to the run. So I love Lenny today. This week was all about trends week for me. I was talking about JC with this earlier this week. Like, there's a big enough sample size that you can follow trends despite what history says about it. So that's what I'm going to do. And that's kind of my two props for this game. Lenny plus 650 to make it 3 in a row first touchdowns. Now, Marcus hit me with, bro, it's never been done before. Three first downs by one player, never been done before. Well, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be the GOAT Lenny. 650 is an amazing value, but Buffalo, you can run against them. Derek just hit on why he's a guy who's going to eat today, and it's a trend. I'm riding Lenny. And then the Bills do this kind of weird thing that when they lose, they kind of go back to their workhorses. And so I found this kind of trend stat. Diggs anytime touchdown plus 125. He scores a touchdown in the next game following a loss the last 4 times. They lose, and then they say, we need to go feed Diggs. They lose, and then they say they need to go feed Diggs. So I like Diggs to have a big day today, including a touchdown.
Here's a more proven stat about Diggs. Fucking Steve starting him against me in the playoffs today. Diggs is going to go for 30. Unproven.
He might, man. He very, very well might go off for 30 today. Another receiver I like Cole Beasley today. The way the Buccaneers run their defense, they give up a lot of short underneath stuff. So I know Derek likes Dawson Knox for that. I actually like Cole Beasley for that. Either one, I think, again, if you're looking for a nice cheap play, I think you wouldn't be going wrong with either one of those today, for sure. All right, let's jump to the primetime games. One is slightly better than the other, but they're both divisional games. I love these late season divisional games. Sometimes they pan out, sometimes they don't. This one, I don't really think it does, but here's Marcus being the lone wolf again. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay a 12.5-point favorite. We're all on Green Bay. Marcus is trying to make up ground. I mean, I totally get why he's doing this, but I don't know why he's doing it for this game, man. We know Aaron Rodgers owns Green Bay. Why do you think Chicago can keep it under 13?
Pride. Fucking bull. I still own you, dude. If that shit is not plastered all over every facility, every street sign in Chicago, they're doing something wrong. Obviously, that's still it's going to be fresh in the brain, if you will, and it should be for the next few years. It's not that I love Chicago. If they don't come out playing physical and just playing mean and aggressive and trying to make a statement that they're not just some bitch team, fire everybody. For me, it's just that
I think
simple.
that might happen anyway, boss.
It's kind of just all about pride. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I like 12.5 as kind of come back and saying even they could lose by under 12.5 and maybe hopefully say you don't own me, but come back, be physical, clock management, just turnover free, but it's all about pride, man.
Yeah, Derek, what are you looking for here in this Sunday matinee?
I'll see your pride and I'll raise you another P. Personnel. The fucking Bears are terrible. Like there's no way
you're
around
going
it.
Packers there, but okay.
No, Nagy's terrible. The Bears are terrible. There's a lot of the fans are calling for Nick Foles, so that just shows how dumb that city is. I just think it's all about Green Bay, man. And I don't usually like to pay for a lot of these high cost DFS guys, but Devontae Adams, like I would pay $15,000 for Devontae Adams. Yes. He's gonna go off today. Yes. No way around that. And I think the Packers absolutely roll. I think they get everybody involved. I think everybody's going to be serviceable from a fantasy standpoint. Chicago's just got to take it. It's going to be 4 quarters of hell, and they're going to cover big time.
Yeah, I agree there. That's why I had another player parlay here. I like Devontae Adams and David Montgomery over 175. Adams might do it by himself. Yes. Adams might get 175 by himself. Even if he only gets 125, that means David Montgomery needs only about 50 yards to help this get over.
Fucking Steve's other receiver.
Yeah. Going against Diggs and Adams this week is not a good combo you want to see across the way. David Montgomery's been playing really good football lately. So I like this player parlay. Again, a lot of these ones that I've given up, they're only about plus 100, but that's doubling your money, guys. And a lot of these, look over the article today that Marcus is going to put out. I think you play some of these slam dunk player parlays. Another one, I can't believe I'm taking a skill position not named Montgomery, but Darnell Mooney's kind of turned into the wide receiver one there. He's exceeded over 4 receptions the last 4, and his actually lowest number there is 5. So Darnell Mooney is actually, regardless of the quarterback, he's done it with Fields, he's done it with Dalton. Darnell Mooney is wide receiver 1, and I bet you can get him for pretty cheap as well as far as streaming. All right, let's get to
game of the week.
Game of the week, yeah, I was going to call it that for sure. Over in the NFC West, the Rams traveling to the desert. The Cards being a 3-point favorite with an over and under of 51.5. Marcus and I are actually on the same side on this one. We both like Arizona. Look at him rocking the Kyler jersey right there. Talk to me about this game, Marcus.
How exciting is this for a Monday night, Week 14? We have 2 teams that are actually in contention for the number 1 seed in the NFC, right? And there's only 1 bye week. But everyone's both lost to Green Bay, so it's huge. So when Arizona wins, the Rams are all but staring at that wild card spot, at that 5 seed. I just love everything that Arizona's done this year. I've been on that bandwagon for quite some time. They're just finding ways to win beautifully, ugly, doesn't matter. I could have been swayed if the Rams didn't have that cancer over their receiver, but so the Cardinals just going to win. And it's going to be kind of nice seeing them kind of snag that 1 seed in front of Green Bay. One of my favorite plays this week, it's actually higher than Kareem Hunt. It's going to be Zach Ertz today. We all know I like first touchdown round robins. Zach Ertz has been a pretty damn good tight end for them since coming over from Philly. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins came back last week. First touchdowns there, mad targets. But Zach Ertz he's the play today. I'm expecting 7-8 grabs out of him. And there's actually some damn good value, 16-1, so that can really boost it up. And they do like to look for him there near the end zone.
Yep. A lot of playmakers in this game, Derek. Who are you looking at? Who's too expensive to touch?
Yeah, I mean, obviously D Hop should have a good game, but I think he's probably too expensive to touch for me, just because I know Jalen's gonna be following him around the field, and I just don't. It's hard to get that kind of production that warrants, in that 9,000 range.
Does that mean it's an AJ Green day?
There's no such thing as an AJ Green day. Fuck that guy.
I knew you
he's
hate him,
terrible.
so I had to bring it up.
I think honestly, you get down on the goal line, I think it's gonna be a little bit of Connor. I think that's how you get the ball in the end zone against the Rams. I just think I'm kind of fading Arizona's offense as a whole. About the Rams, little Kyler struggles, and I think that it's really hard to beat the division rival, especially a good division rival, twice in the same season. That's why I think the pendulum kind of swings back. Arizona won the first one. I think LA is going to be ready for him this time. So I definitely think, from a Rams standpoint, I think Van Jefferson is kind of a sneaky sleeper, get good value.
It's weird. Van's
do
played
you
better.
keep gambling an OBJ? Like, he has to do something eventually. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. First of all, I'm all with you on Connor. I said this is my trend week. James Conner's had a touchdown 6 games in a row. So this is almost me betting it until it doesn't happen. 121 is one of the worst values. I really don't like getting into the 120 or less range, simply because it's just, you can find so much better out there. But again, he just keeps doing it, right? So do it until it stops. Tough to run against the Rams, for sure. Tough to run against the Rams, but I'm betting the trend there. Another trend that I'm hammering, OBJ has a touchdown in the past 2. And you can still get him at 3-1 odds for a touchdown. He's clearly made his way into the red zone playbook. So that's a trend that I'm going to keep following. Though I do have a bad trend for Marcus and I do. McVay owns the Cardinals in Arizona. The Rams have won their past 7. Now, McVay hasn't been there for all of them, but still, the Rams have won their last 7 in Arizona. But I think this year is just different with the Cardinals, right? And the directions of the teams are just going 2 totally opposite ways. So that's definitely why I'm going as well. I'm going with Marcus here with Arizona. So there we go. All the other games, guys, I kind of recommend not to watch. There's some 8, 9, 10-point spreads out there. Some truly awful games. So we're gonna jump right into our parlays, and then we're gonna sign off and have everyone get ready for the games today. First, we're gonna go my dog of the week. We had multiple different versions of dog parlays win last week. My first dog parlay hit of the entire year. That was huge because I needed it because I just spent a fortune in Minneapolis. So the one I'm going with this week is Baltimore. I like Baltimore to continue to own Cleveland. I like Washington to make it 5 in a row. And then I like Cincinnati to beat kind of a lifeless San Francisco team. They kind of don't have a shot at the playoffs anymore. Their division hopes are shot. They're kind of looking at Trey Lance in the next year. And Cincinnati knows they need to win to keep in the hunt. So you're going to get 13-1 with the Ratbirds, the football team, and the Bungles. 3 teams I like to make fun of often, but I will be cheering for today. Any dogs you guys like? I know you guys kind of switched a few of my dogs, and I think all 3 of ours hit. I think we all took 3 different dogs in that final leg, and all 3 of them hit.
Yeah, I saw mine hit, and I was going to talk shit to you. Then I saw yours hit too, and I was like, never mind.
Yeah, never mind. Buffalo is pretty much my favorite dog upset. I think they have the best chance. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of not close games.
Yep.
I like most of those favorites.
I know we just talked about them. I still like the Rams a lot. I like Baltimore a lot.
If there was one I'd have to take out, it'd be football team, and I'd put the Rams. Like that's a switch I would do.
Yeah.
This just in, Dallas brought their own benches to the stadium so they could warm up their own asses.
I saw that.
This is going to kind of. I think some weird shit's going to happen in this
They
game.
flew with their own sideline benches. That's a move.
That's
so
so
fucking
soft.
excited.
That's so soft.
Yeah.
All right. Last one, touchdown parlay. I know Marcus has some touchdown parlays you want to talk to as well, but let's get mine out of the way here. And I'm going with guys that have done it recently or all year. AR-12 absolutely owns the Bears. He scampered in last time and did "I own you" or whatever he said. I think he does it again. He's pumped for this game. He wants to show off how tough he is with that toe. I love AR-12 getting a rushing touchdown today. Again, already covered Lenny, OBJ, and Andrews. I think they all get in. AR-12 is what really boosts this. You know, if you put in Kyler, you put in Josh Allen, it kind of takes it 2,000 or 3,000 away. It kind of drops into that plus 4,000, plus 5,000 range. So it's really Aaron Rodgers kind of pulling this up. But guys, this pays out at plus 7,400. Plus 7,400. And you're getting guys that all dominate. Lenny, AR-12, Andrews. Again, we've talked about other receivers. We think we're going to have a good day. Switch out OBJ for Diggs. Switch him out for Devontae Adams. You can switch out for a lot of these guys we've covered, and you can read in this article. But again, I think there's I really like this one today. What about you, Marcus? Any other touchdown scorers you want to cover?
A couple guys I like: Ertz, Kareem Hunt, and sometimes just you get a weird feeling, kind of like Hopkins coming back, kind of force feeding the ball. The other all-pro receiver who's just kind of had a very disappointing year, Julio Jones. He comes back today. He's going to be a big target. And his first overall touchdown, 9-1. So there's solid value there. I like staying in that 6 to whatever makes me feel comfortable. But 9-1 for someone who's going to be the number one receiver there in Tennessee against Jacksonville. I think that's a no-brainer for me.
There it is, boys. Any digs today, Derek?
I didn't get a chance to go through. There's a few, first touchdown guys I like. I like Kelsey a lot against the Raiders. They're bad against the tight end, and I think that they're going to absolutely. The Raiders are in shambles, man. So I like Kelsey a lot. And then if you go to the Jets Saints game, I feel like this is a weird. Just knowing how they like to run that offense and Tysome's inability to throw that mallet finger thing he's got going. I kind of like Taysom Hill for first touchdown, running it in. I think they're going to make a little goal line wildcat action. So those are kind of some weird ones that I like.
There we go, guys. Good luck to everyone starting fantasy playoffs. Exciting times, and good luck to all of you not named Javi, who I'm playing in my league today. All right, boys. We will do this again, a special Saturday edition you guys are going to get next week. That'll be fun. We got Saturday NFL football. Love that. Go enjoy. The weeks are dwindling down. Let's enjoy every second of it.
Adios.